So which path should we take? I think actually we need to head back towards the terrace and go back to that face maybe. Let's see. What was this room again? This was the dining hall area, I think. Let's see if anything's changed in here. Things seem to change a lot as we sneak around. Oh, wait, no. I gotta re-get my bearing from last night. Yeah, the key's probably not used in here anywhere. I'm thinking it's either, you can tell I'm thinking awfully hard here of these locations names. It's either the face that needs this key, or it's that dining hall area. And the kid comes to an abrupt stop again. Start to hear the clattering of more armored goblins. Dang it. We're gonna get through this one without getting hurt. I haven't tried running, but I'm gonna assume that it's wrong. So, of course, this could end up with me dying in the first few minutes of the video here. Don't get ahead of yourself, mate. She says with an ornery smile. It might, that accent is so horrible. Oh boy, someone's gonna stab me or send me spiders or something. These guys. Let's see, how did we do this? We slashed the hand. And this time, instead of getting thrown against the wall, I think we're gonna... I know we're gonna grab one of the weapons. He starts swinging his morning star towards us. Jump back. We roll backwards as it smashes into the floor in front of us. Shrapnel flies everywhere. Quickly slash at its hand. This worked every time so far. Blood sprays everywhere as we connect. It reels backward, squealing like a stuck pig. Let's recover the morning star and throw our knife at it. I quickly flash my hand out, throwing my knife at its face. As it dodges the oncoming blade, I quickly dive to the floor to retrieve the dropped morning star. Once I have it, I scurry away from the beast as fast as I can. The goblin turns towards me, instantly realizing what just happened, angrier than ever. Aiming again for its face, I start to swing the heavy chain around and around. But there's not enough time to get this thing going. The goblin pounces on me, grabbing its weapon back. It then starts to strangle me with the chain. I pull at the chain, but the goblin's got it wrapped around me much too tightly. Help! Well... So, that was the wrong move. Do not try to go toe-to-toe with a goblin, apparently. Oh boy. And so I died right then and there. Well, goblins, goblins, goblins. Let me just load this back up. To be honest, it might just be better to try and run from the goblins next time. Okay, so no wasting time sneaking in and out of rooms that we don't need to. That'll just trigger random battles on us. Nothing in there. Let's just keep going towards the terrace. After a short walk, the terrace comes into view on the left. The cool evening air still trickles in through the doorway. And let's just proceed on through the hall. I don't need to go talk to anybody out there. They're probably just going to yell at me to get back to things. Okay, so to the right, I do want to check out the ballroom again. Now that we've got this key, this magic talisman thingy, maybe something will happen. We continue through the passageway. and after a while arrive at the beautifully decorated set of doors once more. It's still the ballroom. Unless it's a magic place and rooms suddenly start shifting around. No one's here still. With a countless number of candles illuminating the room, everything around us flickers and sways in the light. Those large, creepy portraits are still here staring at us. And they're still moving, apparently. Enough with all this. It's probably a trick of the light. No reason to get all worried, you scaredy cat. Shake it off. These paintings are bloody strange. Kid sees it too. She has to have seen it again. Yeah, I agree, McGill. Let's get out of there. So maybe once we decide that we need to dance or something like that, maybe there'll be a ball later on. We can go dance with Lord Lynx. Let's see. I guess just take the stairs and keep going down. As I start to slowly descend the stairs in the dim light, that grimy, nasty wall still greets me. Our faithful companion down into the darkness. To the left lies a huge archway still with the piranhas that I don't want to mess with. So, into the darkness. This place is not that big yet. I shouldn't be getting so lost. Beautifully ornate set of doors. These are the quarters of Riddle. I want to take this medallion all the way back to Lynx's room, I guess, first. I've already forgotten where that stinking face was. It wasn't in here, was it? Yeah, kid's blood starts to boil. Maybe we'll find something else this time, or maybe the mirror can tell us what we need to do. Lynx! What? Lynx is here! I rush into the room behind Kid, unsheathing my knife in a flash of adrenaline. Where is he? Beside me, Kid says, "Gotcha." Dang it. Tee-hee. Were you scared? She asks, giggling. Oh, sheesh. Don't do that to me. Wasn't ready for Lynx yet. Has Lord Lynx returned to the room? A high alto voice asks. It's the statue again. Kid and I glance at each other, giggling. No, he isn't here right now. Ah, Master Serge. Is there something I can answer for you? The statue asks in a pleasant voice. Or perhaps you'd be interested in this lovely gift I have for you. Huh? A gift? Only a modest token of my appreciation for you and your comrades. I present you with a personal invitation into the realm of the Looking Glass, if you are interested. Wow, really? Yes, but we must hurry. Time is of the essence. I look towards the dark, rippling surface of the mirror. Slowly, I reach my hand out towards it. It feels like my hand is being submerged in water, passing straight into the mirror. Suddenly, there's a slight pull. I try to react my arm, but the harder I pull, the further I seem to be getting drawn in. Master Serge, take your hand out, quickly. Just then, a crack streaks across the mirror. What's going on? Amidst my struggling, I see a crack start to streak down the mirror's glass. Save yourself, Master Serge, please, before I am forced to consume you. What? Kid starts pulling with me, despite the increasing force drawing me in. I'm now up to my shoulder in this thing. On the count of 3, I yell. 1, 2, 3! We tumble backwards, falling onto the couch. I look at my arm in a daze. It's fine. Shaking myself off, I return to the mirror, now even more cracked since I last saw it. Lynx planned to seal you all in the mirror, the statue says, sobbing. Each time it speaks, another crack seems to be running into it. This isn't all. I had alerted Lord Lynx of your presence long before you had known of me. But why? Lynx has already taken away everything I have. He refused to allow me to leave Viper Manor, coercing me to be the mansion's eyes and ears, promising he would someday set me free. Hanging her head low, the Venus statue speaks in a quiet, solemn voice. However, it was simply another of Lord Lynx's schemes. No freedom is worth stealing another's for. I would rather destroy myself than become another murderer. As yet another crack appears, a large piece of the mirror breaks off, falling to the ground. No, don't! I yell, grasping the mirror. A huge crack streaks across the entire mirror, preventing me from seeing almost any of the statue. The statue's lips can be seen moving faintly from beyond the now heavily cracked mirror, but no words can be heard. I silently bend down and gather up all the shards. Putting them on the desk, I look into the kaleidoscope of reflections. Serge? From behind me, I hear Kid's voice. Let's go, mate. As I leave the room, I quietly look over my shoulder, looking at the smashed mirror. I stop for a second, hoping to hear a voice, but all I hear is silence. That Lord Lynx is a cold bastard. Heading back, we traveled through the passageway, eager to shake this feeling of dread. Suddenly, a blood-curdling screech cuts through the darkness. Scared stiff at the deafening sound, I look up to see two gigantic, maddening red eyeballs staring straight at me. It's a griffin! Oh boy. Before I can even unsheath my knife, it starts to flap its wings viciously, conjuring a tremendous gust of wind. I'm knocked clear off my feet, banging my head up against a wall. Serge, you okay? My body aches from head to toe. I struggle to ignore the pain as I hastily get back up. I bend down to grab my knife, and as I stand back up with it in my hand, I suddenly realize the griffin has already cornered me off. It stands no less than a few feet in front of me, its enraged red eyes glowing like ember. What are we gonna do? Jump? Ram it? Hit the deck? Let's just hit the deck. I'm not gonna ram a griffin. The griffin swoops down, aiming its razor-sharp talons directly for me. Ah, I screwed up again. I tried to duck, but it only allowed the horrid claws to dig into my back. Kid! My whole body seizes in pain as I roll on the floor, almost unconscious. I hear Kid calling out to me, but her voice is getting more and more distant as I lay on the floor, motionless. Oh boy, we're gonna die again, aren't we? These battles, they give no mercy. Good lord. See, maybe I should just be more aggressive, but of course every time I am, well, not every time, but most of the times I'm aggressive, I still die. Well, let me get us back to there. Hang on. Okay, here we go. I can't use the save feature in this game because it hasn't worked for me, so I have to use save states, and the previous one was all the way at the beginning of the video. Heading back, we travel to the passageway. However, we didn't get ambushed by the Griffin this time, at least not yet. Riddle's room. Riddell's room. Let's enter it again. Why not? I gotta find where this thing is used at, even though I'm pretty sure I do know already. I'm still thinking the face. Small trinkets are everywhere. The owner of this room has obviously gone to great lengths to bring a graceful style to this dreary manor. Yes, we know whose room it is. The window is still open, and leaves are still blowing in. Wait. Let's come back another time. You mean we don't want to get caught snooping around any more than we already have? From here, the passageway stretches to the right and left. Well, I guess that pretty much means we have to go left. And I'm still completely lost. Again, this place is incredibly small. I should know the layout by now, but I don't. I wonder... You know what, let's go into the archway room. I'm just gonna hit every room up. Are you serious? There's no way in hell I'm going back there to be eaten alive. Yeah, losing a leg or two wouldn't do a thing for your girlish figure, would it? Having stopped before the atrium, we once again come to the ominous mouth of truth. Apparently that's where I needed to go anyways. Maybe there's something we didn't try before, Kid says, taking out her personal effects and holding them out at me. Me again? Kid smiles at me innocently. Amidst my hesitation, I reach for one of her accessories. Hand-shaped plate. Let's try that. I take the hand-shaped plate. Its strange, contorted symbols give me a headache just by looking at them. Nervously, I reach in and place it onto the tongue. It's a perfect fit. Sliding it into place, I quickly remove my hand and back away a few steps. The huge white eyes start moving around slowly, and a slight vibration can be felt from behind the wall. Something's happening. Something big. I just wish I knew whether it's good or bad. An odd sound escapes from the mouth of truth as its eyes continue to roll. I want to make a run for it. However, I look over and see the ever-fearless expression in Kid's eyes, and stay my ground. Suddenly the marble sculpture stops moving. I stare at it, wondering what's going on. Then, its tongue starts to roll around inside its mouth, while its eyes tilt further and further upwards until its pupils disappear underneath its own eyelids. We hear the plate sliding down its throat, vanishing into the deep, dark depths of the mansion. What's happening? Apparently a pious being such as this may roll its eyes from time to time. The simple fact that McGill tried to make a joke just there makes me stop and forget where I am for a second. All that's gonna happen is you're gonna lose another one of my things. I could have got a lot of cash for that, Kid says regrettably. Suddenly, over by the atrium, we start to hear some sort of a latch being opened. And then, moments later, the sound of water draining echoes throughout the corridor. Taking a few steps towards the atrium, I see the red water has formed into a whirlpool and is flowing down into the pond. The piranhas are actually being washed away. What's the matter, little fishies? Not enough water? Aw, playtime's over, you nasty buggers. Come on, I'm dying to see what's past that fountain. I'm gonna continue to butcher that accent, it's horrible. Having crossed through the atrium, eventually we come to a split in the path. We can either go to the left or right. Let's go left. I like going left. Ahead of me, I hear Kid come to a sudden stop. "What's wrong?" I ask in a whisper. I look over, only to see Kid pointing down the dark hallway. Squinting my eyes, I try to look for something. After a while, I start to see some sort of a white mass, quite a ways ahead of us. "What is it?" I ask, readying my knife. And then, as if reacting to my voice, it starts to quickly scurry towards us, growing taller and taller as it approaches. Oh boy, it's a skeleton! Just a skeleton? Quick, what do we do? Ram it. I immediately start rushing, hoping to catch it off guard. Whatever. With a hollow clatter, the skeleton comes toppling down to the ground. Ribs fly everywhere as its spine breaks in two. "I think you've had enough," Kid shouts, looking over the crumpled heap of bones. Suddenly, as if somehow reacting to her taunts, the skeleton's remains begin to stir once again. I back away in shock as the skeleton's torso starts to prop itself up with its left hand. Its right hand then grasps its dislodged skull and holds it up, staring straight at us. What the? Suddenly the skeleton hurls its skull at me with blinding speed. What do I do? Catch it. Catch it. I nimbly catch the skull in my hand. Smash it open like a melon. I kneel down on the ground and raise the skull high above my head. Then, with all my might, I hurl it down to the ground with blinding speed. As soon as I do this, the remains of the skeleton crumble lifelessly to the ground. Kid runs up to the pile, scattering the bones everywhere. Relieved, I crawl back a ways, staring at the shattered skull before me. Well, that went better than I expected. "Now you've had enough," Kid says. Ouch. My body is screaming at me from all of my cuts and bruises, and I'm a mess upstairs too. I don't know how much more of this I can handle. I really need to watch myself from here on out. "Not bad, Sag. Not bad at all," Kid says, catching my eye. A few moments pass, and she's still staring at me, smiling. Oh man, what do I do? Should I say something? I look away after a nervous moment, but full of glee. I can never handle this kind of thing. Those baby blues of hers get me every time. After a bit of walking, we come to an old-looking door with a brass handle. Damn it! Another locked door! I don't get it. There's no smell of gold or nothing. "This leads to Viper Manor's Catacombs," says McGill hesitantly. He's right. Standing here in silence, I realize there's a faint scent of death in the air. And then, putting my ear to the door, I start to hear deep, tortured moans from far beyond. I jump back, looking at the door. Let's try somewhere else. Heading away from the catacombs, we eventually come to a split. Turning right heads back to the atrium, while ahead of us I can see nothing but a dark, stone corridor leading off to the darkness. Well, I know that we're not going to turn back, because as far as I'm concerned, there's nothing behind us that we haven't explored yet. I've been pretty thorough, I believe, in my aimless wandering. So, whenever we come back, we will, I don't know which way we'll go. Yeah, we'll figure out next video.